So, I'm on a weight loss journey and I have decided officially I'm boycotting the scale. I'm getting rid of the scale and I'll explain why, right? So, I gained 66 pounds over the past 3 to 4 years. And on the 8th of December last month, 2025, I finally decided that's it. I'm done. I'm done being fat, overweight, feeling miserable and all of that. So that's when I decided to actively change my life. Today is the 9th of January, so it's officially been 4 weeks and 1 day since I started the weight loss. I don't even like calling it weight loss journey, but weight loss journey, right? And for me, the number was a very big factor in my journey, which I feel is the case for most women. I was always between 130 to 150 pounds for most of my life. So I decided, you know what, 4 weeks ago, I set myself on this journey and my goal was I want to be 155 or 150 pounds. I want to look like this, right? Because this is the version of me that I liked the most or I felt more comfortable in the most. So because my journey was based heavily on the number, that basically meant that a scale would be the key part of the journey. I have to consistently weigh myself to see if I'm there or not, right? And I was so fixated on the number that I feel like it wasn't even about health. I mean, things have changed a lot in the past 4 weeks. But when I started, it wasn't even necessarily about, oh, I want to be healthy. It was, I want to look like this because I felt more confident and comfortable in myself looking like that. So anyways, long story short, the first week I went really, really hectic, right? Like extremely. I went on a raw vegan diet for the first 7 days of my journey on the 8th of Jan. And I decided to do the raw vegan diet as some sort of like a detox, just so I can really like rid my body of all the cravings and all the bad stuff. And then to top that off, I then joined my boyfriend at the gym, and I went to the gym for like 6 days in that first week. And my boyfriend does 2 hours at the gym, which I personally feel it's really hardcore, but nonetheless I also did gym for 2 hours 6 days straight the first week, right? So I was literally killing it. I was pushing, and I was 200 pounds at the beginning of that week. And I had heard a lot of things about when you start your weight loss journey, your first week, your first few weeks, you lose a lot of weight because it's water weight and all that. So as I was doing this for the first week, I was anticipating some really good results. Like I needed a good number. And also I had this I'm not going to say unrealistic, but this crazy target. I wanted to reach the 150 pounds within the next 3 months by April, right? Okay, I guess you can say 4 months, which meant I actually have to lose maybe 12 pounds per month to get to that. So I was like really on a strict schedule, right? For me to lose 12 pounds a month, divide that by 4, my math is bad, but that means I had to really lose a lot of pounds, right? So anyways, I went through the whole week, and then on the the morning of the 8th day, since I had started the journey, I got to the gym, I went on the scale. I was like, listen, today is my last, yesterday I finished the raw vegan diet. I've been working out like crazy 2 hours at the gym. I'm anticipating to see something really good and motivating. I got on the scale, and lo and behold, I had lost, I think it was like 3 pounds or something like that, right? I mean, I expected a lot more, but I was like, okay, cool. I lost 3 pounds. If I lose another 3 or push, or, next week, maybe I could lose another 4, then that's like 10 pounds. So the number on the scale, I feel like I had given it so much power over my journey that it kind of was starting to suck out the fun out of it. I was doing everything I was doing, being super hard on myself, just because I can't wait for that 7th day when I do the weigh in, right? And not noticing the smaller things that were happening to my body and my surroundings just because I've chosen to change my life. Anyways, the second week, then I decided the 2 hours at gym is too much. I told my boyfriend, I can't do 2 hours at the gym. I'll leave you there. I'll walk back, So I started doing like 1 hour, but some days when I felt good, I did 2. And then I reduced my days at the gym to 3 to 4, because it felt just a bit more natural, because I started realizing that I'm being a bit too hard on myself and it's not being fun. And if I'm going to do this for like the next couple of months, at least let me enjoy the journey, right? Or find some fulfillment in it. So I started doing that, but then I started walking a little bit more outside, getting my steps in and being a bit more active. The end of week 2 came, and it was, lo and behold, time for the weigh-in. 1 second, I need to look at the mic. Where was I? So second week, I got on the scale and it was back to 200 pounds. So nothing had changed. And as someone who had weighed their journey so much on the numbers, it felt a little bit, like, oh, what the hell did I do wrong, right? So it wasn't a good feeling. Then I started thinking, maybe I need to go back on the raw vegan diet. Maybe the 3 days, 4 days at the gym is not good enough, right? But I started doing research and I realized, no, I'm okay. I'm doing fine. Maybe my body is just fluctuating. I'll have a look next week. So third week came, went on the scale. In fact, this time, the scale had said I was slightly bigger than 200 pounds. So the scale was saying I had gained weight, but also actually I was on my period. So maybe that's a factor. But nonetheless, every time when the day 7 hits and I have to go in for the weigh-in, it wasn't like a joyous moment. I was anxious, right? And after the weigh-in, I wasn't happy. I wasn't like giving myself grace and appreciating myself for the changes that I'm making. So on that third week, I realized that the scale is not a source of motivation for me. It's a source of unnecessary pressure and it's demotivating me. So I decided literally at that point, I'm not going to look at the scale anymore. So yesterday was my 4th week and I did not weigh myself. I'm not weighing myself. I don't even actually want to put a timeline to weigh myself. I don't want to say every month or every 2 months. I'm just going to do what I'm doing. And if I ever feel like, okay, cool, you know what, let me have a look and see, I'll do it. But I don't want to make it a thing anymore. What I've decided to focus on is the changes, because even though the third week came and I was on my period, yes, you'll see I actually posted a video a couple of days back when I was at the gym and I was on my period. When I was editing that video and looking at myself and looking at the pictures I took on day 1, genuinely, I was like, what? There is a difference. Of course, it's not a huge difference, because it had only been 3 weeks, but there was literally a difference. I could see that I've improved, right? But the scale was saying I'm fatter or bigger. So the scale was actually not helping me at all. And it was taking the fun out of it and making me to not look at the things that matter. So when I started looking more at myself, how am I looking? Am I feeling leaner? Is something changing? I realized that gives me more positivity. Like, honestly, that video was the first time when I looked back at myself and I was like, the one at the gym, I was like, whoa, okay. And maybe I need to start looking at myself a bit more in the mirror, because it's something I'm always really scared of doing. And I started doing it. Even this morning I woke up, I looked at the mirror, I was like, not bad, So I started focusing on stuff like that. And also I started being more aware of how my daily life goes versus how it used to. I always used to love cleaning, as an example, before I gained the weight. Like, cleaning was a very therapeutic thing for me. I liked having a clean home. I would just wake up, play music and clean. But since I gained weight, especially once I hit like 200 pounds, honestly, I wasn't much of a cleaner, to be quite honest. I wasn't as neat as I used to be, which is crazy, right? How it affected even the outside in terms of, I wasn't even that neat, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm beginning to see it now. But literally on the second week, I remember doing a spring cleaning. I don't know if you guys know what a spring cleaning is. It's basically like Black families, most of them, when spring hits or summer hits before Christmas season, they do like a thorough deep clean of the house, like change curtains, clean inside cupboards, everything, just so when Christmas comes it's fresh. So I just one day woke up and I just felt this huge burst of energy. I started cleaning inside the oven, grease and everything, and I genuinely enjoyed it, right? I think I did the cleaning for like 3 whole days because there was a lot of stuff to clean. And beyond that, I was waking up and just making sure I do the small things, tidy up here and there. And those are the things I'm beginning to notice, like my energy levels have changed significantly so. And the reason I had stopped cleaning like I used to is because every time I started cleaning, I would sweat like crazy. I would feel hot, I would sweat, I would breathe heavily. So cleaning was not a nice activity when I was 200 pounds. And apparently I'm still 200 pounds, right? But when I was still 200 pounds and not making healthy lifestyle changes. But now it's something I'm doing without sweating and I'm genuinely enjoying it. So it's one of the things I noticed. And honestly speaking, the confidence is the best part. If you've seen my couple of videos, my confidence was on a minus 1,000. I had zero confidence. When I look back at the videos, I kind of looked like I was depressed. I've never been diagnosed with depression before, but I started looking at them. I'm like, geez, girl, you like not doing good at all. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel confident. You don't feel comfortable in your own body. But even though I'm still at the 200 pounds, it is crazy how my own perception of myself has changed. I feel like there's something really powerful about the journey. I feel like for some odd reason, I care a little bit less about what people think about me, right? Because even if someone says, hey, you gained weight, I feel like I'm starting to not care because I know I'm doing something about it. And I think the source of how I felt before was because I wasn't doing anything about it. That's why I felt so bad. If someone said you've gained weight, it would probably, like hurt me a lot internally because I have gained weight. And what am I doing about it? Nothing. I'm just feeling sad and miserable. But now if someone says you've gained weight, I genuinely don't care. Guess what? I know. But also guess what? I'm doing something about it and I'm seeing changes in my life and that's what matters. So my mood has changed, my confidence levels, I still have a long way to go with that, but they've changed. My energy levels have changed, and physically looking at myself, I'm seeing some changes, guys, I swear. So I'm going to put up a picture here of my day one. I'm wearing the same pants that I was wearing on day one. I'm going to stand up now just so you guys can see. It's nothing drastic. It's only been 4 weeks and this is going to be a very, very long journey. And I'm no longer trying to do this whole rapid weight loss. I want it off by April. I just want it off whenever it's off. But I want to continue being consistent and making the changes and changing my life and being a better person. I feel like for me, the biggest issues were more in here mentally than they were physically. It's just that they were manifesting. So you'll see, I'm seeing some changes and I appreciate that so much that for the first time, guys, in like 5 years, I look at myself and I'm accepting what I see. Also knowing that it's in progress. Where else I hated what I saw. I avoided looking at it. It was the worst thing ever. Looking at myself, I just felt like crap. So I'm seeing some changes, not much. We still have a long way to go, but it's enough for me to be motivated. And I'm glad I did not go on the scale yesterday or this morning, because what if the scale was going to say I'm still 200 pounds? And then it's fine. Who cares? I feel like I'm a smaller 200 pounds now than I was then. And I think that means a lot more. So let me just show you guys. Ooh. Yeah. So let me just do this. It doesn't help that the background is black and the pants are also black. That is crazy. Let me come closer. Hopefully you guys can see I could have been in a different space where it's not all black, but these are the pants. And this is how I'm looking now. Still a long way to go, but maybe I'll put the picture here. And this is the back. My back fat is one of my biggest issues. Biggest issues. Things I need to work on the most. But there we go. That's my back. And this is how I look on the sides. And this is how I look with the pants up. I'll put a picture when the pants were up here. And then when I pull them down, this is how I look. Still have a long way to go. This is how I look. So yeah, for me personally, for 4 weeks, also I'm very jiggly. I don't know why. I never used to be so jiggly, but I jiggle a lot. But yeah, this is pretty much, that's it. That's me right now at 4 weeks. So that's honestly the reason why I've decided I'm getting rid of the scale. I think it's really something that is very demotivating, at least for me. And also I've realized that there was a mental exercise I was doing the other day, and I was asking myself, what if scales did not exist and all I had was a picture of myself back then and knowing where I am now, and there was a mirror that existed? Would I not know when I've reached that goal? I would. Just by looking at myself, I would. Just by putting on the clothes I used to wear then, I would not actually need a scale to tell me you've reached your goal. My goal should be me looking at myself and seeing and saying I'm happy with what I see. My goal should be me being more healthier and happier and mentally content with myself. It should not be a number. Yes, the number is great to know that you've reached something, but I feel like it should not be the basis of how I look, of me saying I've met my goal or not. So that's kind of why I've decided the scale is just not for me, guys. It is not for me. I'm not saying I'll never ever get on a scale. Of course I will. So I can still see what I weigh, but I'm going to rely more on me. And also I've realized that yes, I want to get to 150 pounds. Well, I wanted to, but I've changed my mindset to be more of a spontaneous journey. I'm going to go as far as I need to go. And if I get to a point where I say, this is it, I'm happy with this, I'm going to stop there and just maintain. And that place might be at 150 pounds, might be at slightly more, might be less. And I don't think that should matter, so I don't know if you guys are on a weight loss journey and you've recently started and you've been doing daily weigh-ins or weekly weigh-ins and they've been affecting you a little bit negatively to some extent. Please do share your experience. And you know what? Maybe you can even join me. Let's just go for like a month or two without looking at the scale, but actually focus on the positive changes that are happening in our bodies, because I feel like those carry a bit more weight, especially personally for me. But yeah, that's that. Cool. Oh, please, I hope you were recording.